Happy St. Patrick's Day. You guys got your green on? Today's topic is one that I get asked all the time, from why can't I get my kids to do their homework? Why can't they clean their room? How can I get them to stop playing video games for hours on end? And it's all about creating let's rewind that. You want to get rid of bad habits and create good habits, right? So how do we do that? Hey, Carrick, thanks for joining. Talking about how to rewire not just your kids' brains, but as parents, we have to own it. Do you lecture? Do you nag? Do you scold? I do all of that. And I tell myself not to, but sometimes if your buttons are pushed, what do? We resort to the 20th reminder. Can't you wash your dishes? Can't you, do your homework? Can't you just listen? Can you just do one thing? Just listen to everything I say, right? So we need to think of our brain as a computer, right? We have to reprogram the software that your child's brain has had ever since they were born. So if you have a 12-year-old, if you have a teenager who's already going through the teenage growth stuff, the hormonal roller coaster, their natural brain, their brain's job is to be disrespectful sometimes, because they are trying to grow away from you and become their own little adult. So if you have someone who always is cooperating and always wants to listen, that's a people pleaser though. And that's not really the best type of child to have. It's the easiest child to have because they always please you. And I have a people pleaser, my older one. And then I have a very independent, strong-willed, sometimes obstinate child who is now 19, even though we think she's 12. So how do we do this? How do we rewire brains, right? You have to install self-confidence instead of constantly criticizing. So if you find yourself saying anything that your child will receive as a judgment, you are not lifting their self-esteem and you are not helping them program healthier mindsets. So what I wanted to do, and all of us do that, right? As parents, our default is to lecture, and we think we're going to motivate them, but it's often a forced conversation that might be one-sided, right? How many of you start off with trying to motivate your child? You want to explain why school is important, why they should be cleaning their room, why they should be getting a job or, doing something productive, right? Instead of playing hours and hours of video games. Well, when we keep saying that, guess what? We are reinforcing. Your brain can't decipher what is good and bad. It just listens to what the words are. So if you say, stop playing video games, your child hears video games, right? If you say, don't be late, your brain hears late. So it's rephrasing the words we use. Really police your language. So instead of, you're always late, rephrase it. Hey, what do you think we can do to make you early? I have one of those people in my family who leaves 2 minutes before she goes to work. And it used to drive me crazy unless I realized, guess what? It's beyond my control. Will lecturing help? Will screaming and, getting it through their thick skull help? No, it builds resentment, it breaks your emotional connection, and your child, right? How would you like it if I said, hey, Carrick, you know what? Stop drinking beer. Stop. You know what? You know what you should do? You should eat more, drink more green juice. And no one likes to be lectured, right? None of us like to be lectured. And I was told the other day, it's like, oh, turn off the TV. Mom's going to lecture. I thought, I'm not going to lecture. I want to just share what I think we should do as a family is stop watching hours and hours of TV, because I've done it. And then you get lazy and then you don't really want to do anything because you're just too tired, unmotivated, and you don't have the energy even to even step outside of your house, right? It's like, oh, I gotta go to Costco. It's been 7 days. Or I have to, whenever your brain hears, I have to, it shuts off already. You have to do your homework. What about changing it? Hey, I wonder what new thing you're gonna be learning today. And your child would be like, ugh, because they know what you're doing. But it is consistent repetition. You really have to, and I don't see, when I say have to, I'm already doing the lecture thing. I apologize. Sometimes I do these Facebook Lives, and when I end, I think, oh, I think I just lectured for 30 minutes. But try to write some notes here so I don't go off path. But, we want to instill confidence instead of criticism. And this one, explore the world, right? Think of knowledge as beyond the classroom, right? Instead of escaping into video games, and be empathetic. Say, you know what? I get it. I love to binge watch, used to be Grey's Anatomy, right? I used to binge watch hours. I was into the Bridgerton. It's like, oh my gosh, Mom. Then you start watching the videos and then the interviews, and then it becomes a black hole. You seriously fall into the black hole. So if you were watching your favorite show, say you're watching the Super Bowl, and right in the middle of it, it's an exciting moment, and I pause the TV, and I go, you know what? You got to stop watching TV. And you'd be like, what the hell? This is the Super Bowl. And I'm thinking, it's just a football game. Stop wasting your time watching sports, right? You'd be like, what? Who are you to tell me that? Even though it's your child, his video games are like endless Super Bowl games if you're a guy. If you're a girl, if you're a woman, whatever you're into, it's that. If you're really into, say, Chicago Med, or you're really into Hawaii Five-0, well, no longer, right? But you could be doing reruns of your favorite show. And it's just something you want to do to relax. But you end up doing it for hours. You ever did this? You turn on the TV at 6 and you think, is it midnight? Have I watched 6 hours of TV? Guess what? That's what your child is doing, right? Escaping. If you had to do distance learning, would you do it? None of us would do it, right? Unless you're an introvert, some people like distance learning. They don't want to be in the classroom. They're self-motivated. They like to watch videos and have instructions. They don't mind being one of many boxes because they're not physically in the classroom. Well, a lot of kids, especially if you're kinesthetic, you like to build things, you like to, you hate watching videos, you hate listening to your teacher's lecture, and keep in mind, they're doing biology, they're having to write essays, they're having to record their answers or take photos of their math assignments and then upload it, and then, it's like so many extra steps. And then you're told, I didn't get it, can you send it again? Right? On repeat. And then you're constantly told, why are your grades failing? Why are you behind on your assignments? So I want to share empowering affirmations that I think, I've been doing affirmations. I'm in this program and I have to repeat all these affirmations daily. One of them is, I'm blessed with an incredible family and wonderful connections. By creating success for myself, I am creating success and opportunities for others. This one I think would be really beneficial for teenagers and adults. I let go of old negative beliefs, right, that have stood in the way of success. Some of these beliefs could be, math is boring, I'm not good at biology, homework sucks, I just hate school. And you remind yourself of all this, your brain's going to be like, yeah, let's not do homework. And you find ways to get out of it. More video games, maybe social media, scrolling on social media, texting with friends, anything to get out of what we're supposed to do, right? It's like getting out of laundry. Oh my gosh, I'm postponing. Major procrastination on my taxes. Normally they're done by the first week of March, and I'm keeping it, right? Okay, tomorrow. We've all done that, right? So these are some affirmations, 7 of them, okay? I am loved. Your kids will be like, what? I don't want to say that. Put it on a piece of paper. I put it on I just forgot what these are called, a sheet protector. And I give these to moms that I coach. I'm going to start giving them to students because they're not going to want to do it in front of you, right? But just put it in there. It might take a long time. You might have to do it together. Okay, I know this sounds really stupid. You're going to feel silly, but let's say it together. I am loved, right? And you can add, I love you. Do you know that I love you? I might yell at you. I might lecture you. I might criticize you, but I love you. So we're going to try to do this. Hey, Kaola, thanks for joining. We're going through affirmations to rewire your brain and your child's brain. Are they going to be open to it? No. Those of you guys watching this might say, I don't want to do that. But how many of us are closed when we're given the opportunity to open our mind? Are things going to feel weird? Yes. Is your brain not going to do it? Your brain doesn't want to do anything that's uncomfortable. Your brain is used to how you used to be, right? So if you crave potato chips all your life, it's going to be like, just one more bag. Just one more bag, and then we can start eating healthy. And then after your 20th bag, you're like, you know what? It's just a bag of chips. How horrible is that? But after 180 bags over the years, yeah, then it gets to other things, right? So I deflect, sorry. This is a good one. I can find solutions to any problems that arise. How many of us stop when it's hard? A lot of my kids, they look at a math problem and go, oh, I hate word problems. And I go, I know. So, I try to read the problem exciting. Okay, so we have 38 gallons of paint. And they go, why would I have 38 gallons of paint? When will I ever have to? And you're like, I know. But do you want to graduate? Yes. Okay. I don't choose the homework. I don't create the curriculum. I'm here to make you, help you pass. If you want to pass high school, we have to do all of this stuff. And I agree. A lot of it you will never use, right? You're not going to use the Pythagorean theorem. You're not going to need to know, well, it might help to learn how to write basic writing skills so you can post a really grammatically correct Facebook post. Just kidding. But you need to learn to write. The way you speak is very different from the way you write. If your child is a teenager and needs to or wants to pass high school, will they learn to write an essay? They will be taught the fundamentals of writing an essay, but will they know how? I've come across a lot of high school students. You can be taught it, but if you do not want to listen, you check out, right? You check out and you're like, this is stupid. I don't want to learn how to write. I hate writing. I hate reading. I hate school. And then your brain shuts down. So really retraining your brain requires you to say statements so that you can, it's Adam. Hey, Adam, we're going to be talking about affirmations. At first I thought, do they really help? But I've been doing this affirmation self-help journey for about 20 years. I fall off the wagon. I get back on. I'm really determined. You've seen my funny videos, and I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. It's the only reason why I do these little singing things, and I do these, did you hug your child today thing? But I want to be capable of being a great human. Your child can say, I am capable of being a great student. Yes, I'm failing right now, but that does not mean failure is my destiny, right? So they're failing now. Failing has nothing to do with capability or intelligence. I failed trig in my senior year. I did not want to be salutatorian. I did not want to say the speech, so I thought, I'm going to fail trig. And I thought, wow, failing has nothing to do with intelligence. I just wrote poems the whole time. So if your child is failing, it does not mean they're stupid. It does not mean they're lazy. It does not mean they're incapable. They just don't feel like it. They might not feel they're capable. They might feel it's boring. They might not see any value. That's a big one. A lot of my students are like, why do I have to write an essay on ancient Egypt? Why do I have to do these 15 problems on fractions and then I have to show my work? well, that's stupid. Yeah, a lot of judgment. And just listen. Listen without judgment, you know? Another one, everything is possible. Yes, as a student, your life it sucks sometimes, right? Because you have to do work that you don't want to do. Well, guess what? As an adult, do we have to do work that we don't want to do? All the time. Do we have to file taxes? Do we have to go shopping? Do we have to do laundry? Do we have to fill in the blank? All the things that we don't want to do, we do it. As a child, they need to learn that sometimes life is not all about playing video games and just relaxing, scrolling on social media. I mean, it does take discipline, but you don't want to make it sound like a lecture. You want to empathize. You want to be part of their team, not the dictator who shouts and lectures because I've done the lecturing and they just walk away. My Chelsea would say, are you done yet? Are you done? Are you done? Can I leave? Are you done? And of course I'd say, no, we're not done because you need to know that. And then you know what happens, right? Once you're ticked off, an avalanche of mean words. So now I learn to walk away. You know what? Now's not the right time for me to talk because it's just not right. I might say things I regret, so let's regroup. Don't force a conversation. I'm just realizing that. I force a lot of conversation. So if you're here watching, thank you, because sometimes I feel like I come across, lecturing, just going all over the place. You know, picture like I'm supposed to go from here to here during my Facebook Live, and I go here, which reminds me of this and this and this. So thanks for watching, listening, and caring, supporting me. This is a good one. My ability to learn is improving every day. Even if you just do a couple of these, right? I can do this. And my ability to learn is improving every day. If I fall, I will get right back up. It's okay to ask for help. I'm not stupid if I have to ask for help. If their teacher is just not a human that they like, find another teacher. Find another aunt, an uncle, a grandparent. Some of these adults, whoever graduated from school, you can probably do third grade math. You can probably even just sit there. Sometimes just sitting there is all it takes. And reminding them that it's okay not to understand. It's okay to fail even. We have to rewire our brain regarding our perception of grades. Grades do not define our value. Grades do not mean that we're smart. And just because you go, through high school, then you get on a roll, and you get to a good college, does that define your success and happiness and just feeling fulfilled? No, absolutely not. So we need to really be emotionally connected to our child so our child does not suffer a lot of mental issues. I came across this article yesterday. Mental health issues, guys, are on the rise. Kids are experiencing a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of, escaping into video games, escaping into something that makes them feel happy. When I was at my worst, I admit I watched 7 seasons of Supernatural, don't judge me, in 3 months. My daughters are like, wait, 13 seasons in 3 months? I was like, yeah, I do have a problem. But it was an escape, snacks in the bed, watching Supernatural. So don't judge your kids. And the last one, I'm not ever giving up. So what I wanted to do, though, is remind you, just a little advice, have talk story time, but don't force the conversation. And when is not a good time in the middle of a video game, if both of you guys are feeling irritated, if you're hungry, if you're tired, if you're just thinking, you know what, I'm pissed off, they need to hear this. Not a good time. So when is it? Maybe you guys are in the car going to pick up takeout. It could be a very short conversation. Hey, so what's going on? I noticed that you are in your room. I'm not judging because I know life now during the pandemic, the distance learning sucks. So how do you feel about, video games? Is that the only thing you think that brings you joy? Because I'm here for you. I'm going to rewire. They might be like, what do you mean rewire? I'm going to change my mindset about grades. I want you to help me. I'm going to want you to enlist their help. Remind me whenever I lecture or say anything that sounds like a criticism or judgment, because you know what? It's a bad habit. And I want us to retrain our brains because your brain is still growing, right? A male's brain's not fully developed until they're like 24. If you have a 13-year-old, they're a long ways off. So you cannot expect them to be disciplined. You cannot expect them to make wise decisions. Some of them do because they're people pleasers, or they are just in that, like, I need to get an A. I was like that. I need to get an A. Now I look back and I think, I wish I played more, But have that conversation. Create a schedule. When I did that memory and focus class, there were two teenagers. They just woke up. They had played like 4 to 5 hours of video games prior. It was a Sunday. They were forced to be a part of this, memory and focusing workshop that if any of you guys are interested, let me know. I am more than happy to schedule another one. But it's, scheduling and making a plan and being accountable. So I said, where can you make this list? Where can you put it? And they're like, I'm going to put it on my game console. I was like, yeah, where your toothbrush is, where your phone is, where your laptop is. But you need to physically look at the list every day. You need to just get into the habit of checking off. It is such a huge accomplishment when you check off your to-do list. And it'll be a weird thing because you don't want to do it. I am retraining my mind. Instead of coffee, I'm doing green tea. In the beginning, I'm like, I want my coffee. And I thought, you know what? I have to practice what I preach. But maybe start off with one new habit a day. So maybe instead of 4 hours of video games, you tell your child, you know what? Can we just, I'm not saying cold turkey, but maybe like 2 hours of video games and maybe 30 minutes of homework. First, there'll be like 30 minutes of homework. If your kids are failing, just say, you know what? I know this is going to suck, but I'm going to have to take away all your video games. And it is, it's kind of like being addicted to heroin. You are addicted, so you are there to do a intervention. Call it whatever you want, but you're like, you know what? I care too much about you. You're going to hate me now, but mom, dad, grandma, whatever role you're playing, big sister, I see that you're going off the wrong path and, don't have this conversation in the middle of a video game, but, you'll know the right time, right? You start a conversation and then you go into it and say, okay, what I'm about to say, I know you're not going to like. I have a mom who took away the entire computer that the son built. And he went from all F's to now passing classes. And he's realizing that it was an addiction. But you don't know it's an addiction, right? I know I was addicted to Supernatural until after I did all 13 seasons. Right after the 3 months, I thought, wow, what did I do? But I'm a functional addict to escape. I can tutor, I can have a conversation, but my brain is still like, I need to watch it, So come up with a plan, help your child. Be on their team. Don't be the mean dictator who just pretty much lectures, criticizes, and judges. Like, oh my gosh, just stop being lazy. You are being so incompetent. If you follow this path, you are destined to failure. You want to be homeless? Do you not want to get a job? Do you know what? You get the drift, right? Do not, and that's a habit that we have to rewire. Whenever you find yourself about to say something that you wouldn't want to be told this as a teenager, deep breath, walk away. Just walk away. Even if they go, wait a minute, why are you walking away? I just have to use the bathroom. Hide in the bathroom for 5 minutes. Take a deep breath. I'm starting my mama meditations. I posted 2 on Facebook and Instagram. They're not just for mamas, Keola, Carrick, Adam. They're for anyone who's stressed. So what's a new habit? Maybe like no junk food for just the next day. If you can't do it for the next 6 hours, right? And then minimize it. But have positive talk story time. Maybe you can go a whole day. I invite you to go through a whole day. If you want your child to rewire their brain, they're going to need your help by rewiring your brain. So that means no judgment, no lectures, and walk away whenever you feel the need to lecture. You think they're wise words. You think it's like life advice. It's not. I've done it, and I've been told, stop making everything into a life lesson. Or they do this, and how does that relate to me? You know, if you make some kind of analogy, when I was your age, and they're like, what does that have to do with me? And you think, okay, I've lost you. So how do you daily connect, right? We are not daily connecting, right? I see my one daughter in that room, another daughter in her room, my husband working on his stuff in his room, and so I'm in my room. Family meals may not always work, so have a night conversation. You know what? Can you give us like 15 minutes as a family? Just 15 minutes. If they can't handle 15 minutes of you talking, and not just talking though, we need to listen. That's my challenge, if you can tell. Doing a chore together. I have decided, I don't know if there's enabling or what, but my Chelsea has the messiest room ever. I can't even see her floor. And I think today I'm going to give her 20 minutes, and I'm going to help her. Do I want to do it? No. Sit next to your child. Say, can you just show me, like, what do you have to listen to? Watch one of those 6-minute, extremely boring videos on math, on ancient China, on the DNA. It is, and you can't fast forward, guys. You have to watch it. So be in their shoes. Say, you know what? Show me. I mean, I know it's horrible, but I want to sit there with you. Not the whole time, but just show me what you're, and then you think, oh my gosh, I am so sorry that I'm telling you to do this. If they're failing, I'm telling you, I'm reminding you guys, if your child is failing, it does not mean they're going to be behind. Because there's a lot of things they can do to learn. There's a lot of self-learning activities that they can do that does not involve worksheets, distance learning, and just yucky, boring academic work, okay? Discuss their dreams. Hey, you know what? What do you want to do? I'm working with a 6th grader, doesn't want school, special ed student, he wants to be a professional surfer. So we talk about, well, you would need to know math so that, you know, if you have a manager, then it'll rip you off. If you're being interviewed, and I just threw this in, what if they said, how tall is that wave? Whoa, 55 feet. Well, could you do 2/3 of that wave? What would be 2/3 of the 55-foot wave? And he thought about it. I said, you know what? Let's figure this out. What is 2/3 of the 55-foot wave? See, but you put in some academics, but you make it relatable. And I love this question. I'm going to end with this. This number 1 question can help you rewire your child's brain and your brain. How do you plan to make the world a better place this week? One thing. A 1st grader, he actually went to school physically and saw someone that looked really scared, and he went up and said, hey, you want to sit, you know, on my table, even though it's 5 feet apart, you know, and say, you know, I know it's scary, you're new, or I know you don't want to be here, it's kind of weird, you know, wearing a mask. Smile at a stranger. I was walking my dog, another lady was walking her dog, and I just waved to her. You know, we're wearing masks, but you can kind of tell, right, if someone's like, or someone's like, right? Can you tell that I'm smiling? Can you tell that I'm not smiling? Anyway, sorry, I went overboard, but thanks, guys, for watching. One last thing. Remember, stop criticizing. Just try it for one day. Police your language and introduce affirmations. Maybe the one affirmation is, tell your child, say, I am loved. My grades don't define me, and I am going to see learning differently today. You know, teachers are having it rough. Students are having it rough. Parents are having it rough. Let's practice compassion instead of criticism. Let's practice and teach self-love rather than self-criticism. And most of all, smile. Let your child know that, you know what? I know you're failing, but I love you. I know you're not doing your work, but I love you, right? I know that you are fill in the blank. I know that you have a messy room, but you know what? Know that I love you. I think that's going to be mine today. Thank you so much. If your kids are on spring break, perfect opportunity. They have no work, so sit down with them. Maybe get some ice cream, get some poke, get some like whatever their favorite thing is, and have a conversation. I'll end with that. Thanks for watching, guys.